Hello friends and welcome back. My name is Katie and this is my channel, and today we are doing a fun video. We're doing a bit of a manga haul. If you've been following me for the last couple of weeks, you will know that I have recently got into manga and I'm really enjoying it and really loving it. And of course, being self-isolated means that I'm inside a lot with a lot of time to kill, which means I want to read. So I have ordered a lot of manga to keep me going. So like I said, this is just going to be a very chill, fun video. Grab a cuppa, hang out with me, take a moment to, just enjoy the simple things in life, and let's jump right in. So some of them I still have wrapped up, but I've taken out of the big box to save on some time. Now the first ones I've actually already started reading. I got the number 2 and number 3 of Skullface bookseller Honda-san. I love this series. So now I have read number 1 and number 2, and I am going to be reading number 3 today. And this is a really fun, silly comedy series, I suppose, of this character, Honda-san, who works in a bookshop. They work in the manga department of what seems like quite a large bookshop in Japan. And as someone who works in a bookshop, obviously my bookshop experience is very different because I work in like a niche, indie style, esoteric bookshop. Little different. But a lot of the kind of experiences I can certainly relate to, especially those with customers. And each chapter is basically broken down into like a different little story or a different experience that Honda has had. And it seems like with the little author notes and things, it does seem like Honda-san is sharing actual experiences that they've had in their job. Perhaps a little exaggerated for the sake of comedy, but everything in here is really relatable as a bookseller, so I buy into all of it. Anyway, I know I spoke a little bit about this in my favorites video, so I won't go on too much, but it's great and it's really, really funny. The next one I picked up, I don't remember why I bought this, like where I discovered it or anything, but it's called Footscray, and I think this has something to do with walking. I would like to make proper measurements of the topography of this country's unassuming natural features and to draw up maps that will be left to future generations. So I think it's kind of quite slice of lifey and more of like a simple story. And I vaguely remember it being a lot about walking because I'm a big walker. I love walking. So I think that's what drew me to this. But like I said, I don't remember where I discovered it or why I bought it. So I don't have a lot to say, but I'm looking forward to it. I think it will be quite different from a lot of the other books that I've bought, which we will talk about now. So this is a big package that came from a bookshop in Sydney that I really like. Okay, where should we start? I finally got number 6 of Goodnight Pumpkin. For those of you who watched my bookshelf tour or update, you will know that I bought 2 of number 4 instead of number 6. So this is finally here, which is very exciting. Now I can make that little, where is it? Down there. I can fix that little situation down there. Goodnight Pumpkin's been a really interesting series. I've read 1 and 2, and it's really funny in a dark sort of way, which I'm getting the sense is kind of that author's style, I guess. From my understanding, it's quite a popular series, so I'm sure a lot of people know about it. But for those who don't, basically we follow this character, Punpun, from quite a young age throughout his life, I think. So far, I'm still in high school with number 2, so I don't know how far we go along, but certainly there's like quite a big jump between the first and the second. So I can imagine that we follow him quite far if we're going all the way to number 7. And Punpun's basically this kid trying to navigate life, growing up with really quite a dysfunctional family. And I suppose the implication is a dysfunctional society as well. So whilst there is quite a bit of comedy in here, it errs on the dark side. It's darker comedy. And I suppose it feels like it could be quite depressing, and I'm not sure if that's the direction it's heading in, but I feel like it's quite a pessimistic view of humanity. I have to say I didn't enjoy the second one as much as I enjoyed the first, but I'm still very much like invested in the series. Okay, so a few more books from a series that I'm still going on with before we get into some first volumes of some new series I'm going to try, and that is 6, 7, 8 of Children of the Whales. I have read up to 5 and I really like this series so far. I've said before, I'll say again, I'm not all that interested in the characters individually. It really is the world building and this really interesting story and the mystery of the people of the mud whale that has intrigued me. The art's really beautiful too, and I'm really liking this story so far. There's a bit of a mystical element to this. Like, there is magic, but there's a mystery around how that power exists and what it does to people. And the magic itself is very tied into emotional states. So it's an interesting system of magic. And along with that, the culture of the people of the Mud Whale has developed very strongly around controlling emotion, which is part of the mystery and is also part of the intrigue for me. So it's just a really interesting world, and I'm definitely rooting for the people of the Mud Whale, even if I don't really care that much about the individual characters. Perhaps I'll develop more of an affinity for them as the series progresses, but so far it is not strong in that way. I'm not reading because I'm obsessed with the main character or whatever. I'm reading because I want to know what happens to these people, and I want to know more about their past and why they are where they are and who are they. Anyway, clearly I'm trying to skirt around a lot of stuff so I don't spoil anything if you haven't read the series yet, but it's really beautiful and I'm enjoying it a lot. Okay, and now I have 3 books. 2 are single volumes, I think. The first is Utsubora. Now, I've heard interesting things about this. People either seem to love it or find it confusing and don't like it at all. It does come up in quite a few recommendations for one-shots though, so books that aren't series. So I was curious, I was definitely curious, and I mean, like, this is a very cool looking cover. Complete in 1 volume, Utsubora intimates the story of a novelist who succumbs to the siren call of plagiarism when a mysterious beauty straight from his own pages accosts him unbidden. Suspenseful, intelligent, and sensual, treasured authoress Asumiko Nakamura's masterpiece to date and first work to become available in English is a rare treat and delectable vindication for mature appreciators of the Japanese graphic novel. So it's quite a heavy and big blurb there. So I don't know, we'll see if I'm clever enough to understand this one. I'll get back to you. Next is a fun one that I've heard a lot about, and that is fruits baskets. I have seen a lot of people mention this as kind of one of their first mangas that they really got into. It is a series, so this is just number 1, but it seems quite playful, quite light-hearted, quite sweet, so I'm looking forward to getting into this one too. After a family tragedy turns her life upside down, plucky high schooler Toru Honda takes matters into her own hands and moves out into a tent. Unfortunately for her, she pitches her new home on private land belonging to the mysterious Soma clan, and it isn't long before the owners discover her secret. But as Toru quickly finds out when the family offers to take her in, the Somas have a secret of their own. When embraced by the opposite sex, they turn into animals of the Chinese zodiac. So from what I understand, this is a comedy with a lot of heart. And I don't know, we'll see if this ends up being a series I keep on my shelf. And because clearly I've been enjoying his work, I picked up another book by Inio Asano, which is Solon. This seems to be kind of one of his more well-known. I think Goodnight Pumpkin and then this one is the one people often recommend and seem to really like. I also get the impression that although this still has his signature darkness, I don't think it's as intense as some of his other things, which I'm looking forward to experiencing, because especially Downfall and Girl on the Shore, they had their elements that I found really quite challenging. So I'm looking forward to experiencing the talent of this author with perhaps some less difficult aspects. Meiko is a recent college grad working as an office lady in a job she hates. Her boyfriend Naruo is permanently crashing at her apartment because his job as a freelance illustrator doesn't pay enough for rent. And her parents in the country keep sending her boxes of veggies that just rot in her fridge. Straddling the line between her years as a student and the rest of her life, Meiko struggles with the feeling that she's just not cut out to be a part of the real world. And that sounds awfully relatable. So not a particularly long video or in-depth video, but a fun one, and I hope you enjoyed spending some time with me. And I'm looking forward to getting through my giant stack of reading that just keeps growing by the minute. As always, a big massive thank you to everyone over on my Patreon for all of your support. Especially a big extra special thank you goes to Tracy Timmerman, Laurie, Lynette Brown, The House K, and Biffy Rose. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate your support. As always, if you have any recommendations that you think I'll like based on what I've shared with you, please leave those below. And of course, always look forward to chatting with you in the comments, and I'll talk to you very soon. So much love. Bye. Oh fuck, this is heavy. Oh, the hazards of taking a thumbnail. Oh my god.